Hey guys, so I thought I'd just run through the process really, and this really relates to my journey as well. This is why I can relate to it so much. The process of rent to rent, from the very start to getting going, there's no really completing it. You can systemize and kind of get hands off to go on to the next project, but there's no completing it. So for me, I stumbled across rent to rent from YouTube advert, and it inspired me. I went on a couple of crash courses, just giving away who that was. But I didn't have much money, you know. I've never used credit cards. We use credit cards for fuel, food, and direct debits, basically. Me and my wife, and that's it. Never operated on credit cards. I've just never been that, that person, or was that person. So I didn't want to use credit cards to pay for training. I just thought that's too high risk for me anyway. So how did I come about wanting to get into rent to rent? Took 2 months to really, nail down and kind of finalise on my strategy. Because there's packages out there that was, you get everything and you'll be pulled from post to pillar. And there's too many distractions. You need tunnel vision. Choose one strategy and go for it. It's in this book up here. If you haven't read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the word focus, follow one course until successful. I read this book, and that one saying is the one thing I really took from that book was follow one course until successful. So I was like, okay, I need one strategy. And when I become successful in that, then who knows where my life will take me. The one box I wanted to tick was financial freedom, quit my job. It's like the ultimate dream. So what vehicle can get me there? I haven't got much money. I had 5k in my account, and that took me about 6 months to save up, and I was selling stuff as well. Saving every single penny. I wasn't spending anything. You trust me, I made a calculator. So when I got paid from my job, I type in to the penny how much I was getting paid, and it would tell me how much I can transfer to this savings pot. Took me months. 6 months to save up £5,000, and then 3,000 of that went to training. So I was back down to 2k. And I thought, right, let's keep saving, do as much overtime as I can, sell everything I could possibly sell to fund my first deal when it arrives. And you've got to be for me, I was like, this is going to happen one way or another. This is going to happen. So I was relentless as I could be. This book here, this whole book, right, is full of phone calls to agents. And I show this to every single one of my mentees. So you get a couple of pages of phone calls, nothing. Another couple of pages of phone calls, nothing. So a green highlighter pen is a viewing. A couple of pages of phone calls, nothing. A couple of, I don't know what the red ones were actually. Oh, straight up no company let. There's my first viewing. 3 or 4 pages. And then it really starts, 3 viewings. Another 2 pages. So anyway, you get the point. I failed 244 times before I had one success. I made 244 phone calls before my first offer was accepted. And then the following day, I had 2 more offers accepted. Nobody's willing to go through that. Nobody's willing to put in the work. I say nobody. The majority of people aren't willing to put in the work. Becoming financially free and quitting your job, it should not be easy. That is going to be so challenging. It needs to be hard. Otherwise, programs like this won't exist. People, mentors like me wouldn't exist. I'd still be in a job looking for another kind of side hustle that works to become financially free. So it has to be hard. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it and deals wouldn't exist. And that's why it didn't take me until I got to the middle of this book, until my first deal was accepted. So that took me 3 months. So I saved up enough money. 3 months of hard work. It is tough. It really does get you down at sometimes, the amount of rejection you face and the amount of viewings that get cancelled on the day and you've booked it off annual leave for your job, that's very frustrating. your pipeline runs dry and there's, you've got nothing going on and you're 150 phone calls deep. You really start to question yourself, really. No agent, no landlord will ever give me a property. And then when it does, it's like winning the lottery. That feeling that I felt when I had that email saying, offer accepted, and it was the first time I ever seen it. The feeling is I've never won the lottery, I don't play it, but it's an incredible feeling. And you've seen it if you've been following my post from Dan, who had his first offer accepted, I think it was Friday, and then he had 2 more accepted yesterday. And he went from feeling very excited, very happy that he's got his first deal, to now shitting himself that he has 3 houses to fill. I had exactly the same situation. I've said to Dan many times, your journey seriously reminds me of mine. And it's panning out exactly the same. So he's got a lot of rooms to fill. He's probably instantly replaced his income straight off the bat. He didn't track his phone calls, so unfortunately we don't know how many phone calls it was, but it was a lot, which is good, because 95% of our competition wouldn't have been making those phone calls, and that is why Dan got the deals. This is why most of my mentees get the deals, because we know what our competition is probably doing, and we just do it better. We work harder, because, like I said, nearer to the beginning of this live, becoming financially free should never be easy. And you've got to be that type of person to really put in the work. So that was in the back of my mind when I started. It's like, okay, I'm on a Zoom with 20 other people. They're great people, love them to bits, they're still my good friends. But at the time, I was like, how do I beat all of these people? They're being trained the same. They're probably going to the same areas as me. So how does my offers get accepted? So I come up with a few things. I won't reveal it on this live because it's what I teach my mentees. And that's how I got my 3 deals accepted, and then carried on taking on deals, working with agents and landlords. So yeah, it took me about 12 months to replace my income, and then a further 6 months to really quite comfortably surpass my income and quit my job. So that was an incredible feeling, and most of my mentees were on the same journey, and quite a few of them are watching, actually. And what am I trying to say? The journey of rent to rent, HMO, even serviced accommodation, there's never a right time to join. Life always throws you curveballs as well. It happens to my mentees still. People that join the program aren't ready. No one's ever ready for this journey. It's like, okay, my life is finally settled. I've got lots of money. No, that's never the case. Emergencies pop up, family crisis. There's always a curveball, but people don't put their mentorship on hold. And drive through it. And the people that want to join the program and don't for months and months and months, it's crazy how fast a year goes, and everybody that is on the program wishes they started a year ago. They all know the process and the viewings they go on and the offers that they put in and the offers that get rejected. If they were doing that a year ago, they would have replaced their income by now. But I understand you do have to get in a position to start a mentorship, and it is bloody hard. It is really hard. It took me 6 months of saving relentlessly, hoping and praying the clutch didn't go in my car to set me back £800. Those kind of things. And that is ultimately what can delay your start, which is a bit depressing. But if you can't borrow money, I couldn't. If you don't want to use credit cards, I didn't want to, then your only option is to save relentlessly and don't spend anything on, that you don't need to. That's it, really. Get on a program like this, get trained properly, because the amount of people I speak to that want me to check on their deals, or can I have a consultation call because their business is failing, they're breaking even, if not making a loss on their properties. The amount of people that are doing this without training is insane. It's insane. There's no way Granted, I'm a mentor, this is my training business, but why would you enter this with no training? It is crazy. You cannot guarantee 2 to 3, maybe even more, £1,000 rent on a property that you think you've done the due diligence correctly. That is so high risk, it's mental. I cannot believe people do it. Baffles me. You know, my program, I look at all of the other rent-to-rent programs and I think, how can I make mine better? So most of the other rent-to-rent mentors have 1 or 2 strategies, and they'll also have a duration, 3 or 6 months, maybe even 12, 12 months. I don't have a duration. I will coach you until you no longer need me. That's it. There's no ongoing payment for that. There's nothing. After about 9 months, you ultimately know what you're doing. So the one-to-one support really kind of drops off because you know what you're doing. You're a rent-to-rent expert. I won't go as far as an expert, but you know what you're doing. You're competent. And you're a valuable member of Rise Up. You know, and it's an amazing community. It's an amazing community. We meet up. I'm creating events. It's a nice journey. And you need to be around people like that. So if I had a duration and you joined my program and there's only like 10 people in there, there's not much inspiration because it would be a new batch of people every 6 or 12 months. Do you see what I'm saying? If there's somebody that was in your shoes and they're 12 months down the line, they're in the program, you could literally rewind throughout this kind of Facebook page and see their journey, see when they started, watch the interviews, watch the live tours of their property. So they're inspirational people that have made it and put in the hard work. That's what I'm doing. That's why I don't have a duration. And it baffles me that other mentors they have durations. It really does confuse me. Why are they not looking at the bigger picture? I've just built this program around my experience of when I was starting and looking for a mentor. I was looking for someone exactly like me. All the rent-to-rent strategies, that's HMO, SA, deal sourcing, all of them. I don't want to be upsold. Do I have to pay extra if I want my wife in? These types of things. And it was all of those factors. If I wanted service accommodation, it's an extra £1,500. It's an extra £1,500 if my wife was to join. Or it's 2 for the price of 1, but only until Friday. Why? Why? So I took all of the bad traits of other rent-to-rent programs and I don't have them in my program. I am the mentor that I was looking for. Really one-to-one hand-holding. You call me, I answer the phone. You voice note me, I voice note you back. Do you know what I mean? There's no booking 15-minute slots. My goal is to get you financially free. That's it. And it's hard. So that's it, really. That's the process. Save as much as you possibly can. This is hard. It needs to be because it's so rewarding. It allows you to quit your job. And you're part of an amazing community. And I think it's the best rent-to-rent program. That's what I'm trying to create. That's my goal, is to be the best rent-to-rent program. And I'm constantly working on it. So, yeah, that's it. That's the process. Save as much as you can. Be relentless. Fill your own book. Because like Dan, he can look back on his journey and think, Christ, that was hard. But, the smile on his face now is so worth it. And it is always worth it. And it's the people that aren't willing to put in the work that can't join my program. Or won't join the program. Because they know they're not relentless enough. So if you're sat here watching it, thinking, I am relentless, I've got that mindset, I just don't have the money, save as much as you can. Don't buy unnecessary items that you don't need. Some people have a trainer addiction. Put it on hold. Becoming financially free is so much better than having a trainer addiction. Quit everything. I quit Amazon Prime, I quit Netflix. You name it. Any subscription that I had, I cancelled it. Even just to save an extra £7 a month. It's what I had to do to get as much money in my account as possible. And then I lost over half of it paying for mentorship. Crazy. But I'm so glad I did. I'm so proud of my own journey because I know how hard I worked. You know, that book full of phone calls. That's just phone calls. 244 failures to get one success, and that's all you need. And then you can use that one property as leverage to get more. So enjoy your journey. That's the point of this. It's going to be hard. If you're thinking of embarking on rent to rent, it is very, very hard. All right. There's a lot of mindset work in the program. There's a lot of inspiration in the program from the other mentees. It's an amazing community. They all meet up, have coffees. I'll meet you. I'll come to your property. It's brilliant. All right, cool. I'm waffling now. It's too nice as well. So I'm going for a cup of tea. See you later.